Name and title again.
I'm Brian Schemmel. I'm the founder and chief technical officer of Digital Lumens.
Okay.
We make intelligent lighting systems for the commercial industrial market that combine the efficiency of LEDs with intelligent controls.
Excellent.
To dramatically reduce our customers' energy usage.
So this is your fixture you got here. This is for a manufacturing facility. Kind of give us a rundown on the technology inside of it and the components. And
Sure. So like I said, we build our fixtures around LED technology. So this fixture, as you pointed out, is what we call a high bay fixture. It's made for filling up light in a huge facility. So 30 to 40 foot ceilings. It's really generated. It's designed to generate a lot of foot candles in a very large area. So 54 LEDs in each fixture. They're very high efficiency themselves. As you know, they're a little bit over 130 lumens per watt rated devices. But we layer on top of that some intelligent controls, occupancy sensing.
Which is that thing in the middle there?
This white thing in the middle, yeah.
Right.
So this
Somebody
watches fork trucks zooming around the facility and turns the lights on intelligently, turns them off when an area has gone inactive. We have wireless mesh networking that's built on Zigbee, baked into every fixture. So fixtures can communicate with one another and communicate with centralized controls for configuring and reporting on what's happening with the
Why
light.
Zigbee? Why not Wi-Fi? I mean, these are fixtures. They're not moving around.
Yeah, they're not moving around. So a couple of reasons. One is that the bandwidth that we need for this kind of thing is very low. So we don't need quite the it's not like we're streaming video around these facilities.
Right.
Wi-Fi, like Zigbee is
I'm
plenty
on.
of bits. I'm on. This is the time I went on. This is how many events I've seen in the last 5 minutes. That kind of thing. The other is that Zigbee does a great job in these kind of environments. It's a mesh networking topology. So you don't have to talk to the furthest fixture away, which in a lot of these facilities can be 2 or 3 football fields.
Right, true. Wi-Fi is very directional, right? It would all be going to a centralized point.
Yeah, so we take advantage of that mesh and the hopping to allow us to get really good coverage in these facilities that can be a little bit difficult otherwise from an RF perspective.
Okay. Now, what do people save? I mean, how much energy will it save just from lighting?
So
compared to
when we go into a customer the first time and talk to them about how we can reduce their lighting energy cost by 90%, they tend to be a little bit skeptical. And we've got to talk them through how we get to that point. So if you think about the overall energy usage, there's 2 parts. The first is just how much power you're using. When we replace a 400 watt metal halide with this fixture, this is 165 watts. The metal halide, though it's called a 400
That's amazing. It's like 3 light bulbs at home, but we'll see in a bit how much light.
So it's about a factor of 3 difference in power. And then the other side of course, is how much the fixture's on. And we use intelligent controls to get about another factor of 3. So we got a factor of 3 from just the efficiency of the LEDs and a factor of 3 from intelligent controls. Put that together, that's how we get to that 89-90% energy savings in our typical customer.
And there's also air conditioning too, because I mean, this is in a meat locker.
Yeah.
LEDs are, I mean, there's heat going out the back end. You have some fins on the back there and things like that.
One of the key drivers of LED lifetime, as you know, is how well you're able to manage the heat that they generate. They don't push a lot of heat out into their beam, but they really like to stay cool. It's not like an incandescent filament. So we spend a lot of time doing the thermal analysis. But the energy load in these facilities for lighting is so much lower that it does have a big effect on the chillers, on the air conditioners, and that sort of thing. We typically see anywhere from a 20 to a 40% kicker, additional energy savings above and beyond just the fewer electrons going into the fixtures.
Now, you've had the one big customer come out, one of the a large public company, and they almost had a less than a 1 year payback when they put in a system.
Yep. So when you look at this 90% reduction, the HID lights that they're using today use so much energy. It's about $1 a square foot per year. We're able to take that down by 90%, and when you roll that all together, our paybacks for our customers tend to be under 2 years.
Right. Now, how do you still in America though? Right now, I mean, or you go to every company and they say, "Great, I can save money, etc." But I don't have money to start with, so I can't do it. I mean, are they willing to listen to the message right now, or are they still very skittish about doing any facility upgrades?
I think that it's a mix of both, and it obviously depends on the customer. Some of them are more amenable to messages like, "Hey, we can finance this for you. No capital expense up front, but you can get the system installed for you, and we'll share the energy savings over time." Some of them, though, the payback is so compelling that it's one of the better investments that they can make right now. They're not getting a lot of interest by sitting their cash in the bank. They're actively looking at ways to improve their facility operation expense and use that to drive savings back into their business.
I like the look of it. It kind of looks like a piece of like Bang & Olufsen stereo equipment from like the 70s. It's sort of, you can imagine this in the living room somewhere. But there's the back side of it.
Yep, so half light bars on the top side, and then on the bottom half is all the power conversion and computing and networking. So we take great pride in the design of the fixture. We think we've done a good job of making a very robust and reliable fixture. We've been doing this for a long time, so we're pretty comfortable with how to do that.
One thing, once shows the light. This is great. The software here. We'll keep.
Sure. If you're a facility manager, we drop these fixtures in. We put in what we call a Light Rules appliance, which is a computer that talks to all the fixtures at once, lets you configure them and do reports on them. You then pull up a web browser and you can log into the dashboard here, see some energy usage data about your facility. We actually log all of this on each individual fixture and can roll it up and show them energy usage over the course of the day. We can drill down into more detailed reports. This is useful both for the customer's own purposes as well as going to the utilities for incentives and things like that, right? We have a very detailed view of the energy
like there on the
usage
weekend, right? Look, the lights just go down, yeah.
So this is a 1 week view. We see a few days of sort of normal operation, then about Saturday afternoon it gets awful quiet through Sunday morning, and then back into the normal weekly pattern here. We can also drill down and change the configuration of the facility, either zone by zone or individual fixture at a time. Which is a pretty powerful thing for these guys. They've never had their old control system was basically go throw a giant breaker over in the corner.
And they didn't turn them off that much, like you and I were talking, because if you turn off a HID light on and off a lot, it takes a long time to warm up, but also they wear out.
Yeah. So this is a very different model for how to illuminate a facility. It really changes what was just a dumb load into a more managed resource in the facility. So these guys, for the first time, have both visibility to figure out what's going on and tools to adjust the energy usage profile. They can start to make decisions. It's do I want to be really aggressive with the dimming and have more energy savings, or do my fork truck drivers like to have more light, and I'll give them a little more light at the expense of operating expense.
And you can scale this down too. You can go to parking lots and things like that, street lights, and who knows where. Okay, let's see it on. We'll take a little